Hi, this is Dave from Heroes Needed, just one of the many fine shows you can find on the Nod Network. Visit us on nerdod.com or subscribe on iTunes, Google Podcasts, or Spotify, or wherever else you get your favorite podcasts.
Have you seen that Joel Schumacher has just passed away?
Yeah, that's a shame.
Oh, really?
It's a shame, but he did give Batman nipples, and I don't think any of us are over that.
Batman always had nipples. They were always there. They were just underneath.
It says a lot about Batman's nipples that they can push through that armor.
Well, I mean, it's Batman. Come on.
Sure, that is true. Welcome to the Nerdity Podcast. I'm Dave.
Go on, Reg.
Alphabetical order.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
You said alphabetical fucking order.
Yeah, but then that means Dan should be first.
Well, no, because Dave's intro and we take it.
All right. Look, I ruined it again. We'll eventually get this right, but yeah, I'm Dan.
And
I don't intro podcasts in however long, and I come in and I'm like, it's too quick. Oh, okay, it seems fine. And then you guys just come in there and trash it. Yeah. It was concise. It was to the point. It was there.
We got it right last week.
We did.
It was perfect. Reg said his name, then I said my name, and it was done, and everyone was happy.
This mystery podcast where I was like, okay, I'm not going to be in because people are canceling. You guys are like, I'm in. We're doing it right this second.
Not you
like,
guys, Reg. Reg.
Yeah, Reg did that.
Reg was a very. Yeah, to be fair, it was about 70 minutes of Reg talking about PlayStation.
How is that different to a usual podcast?
It was just because I wasn't planning on jumping on at all. I was not in a good place last week. So like even the D&D one, I was like, how can I tell Doddy to sort of kill me off or something for the week, because I was just didn't want anything to do with anything. And then when I was like, you know what, you've got Dave and Steve, and you were like, yeah, I'll jump on and do it. And then Steve was like, guys, I don't want to do it. And then when you were like, right, let's postpone it, I was like, we're not fucking missing out on anything. Let's go. So I was like, fuck it, just jump on. And I hadn't a chance to look at anything or do anything. So I was like, you know what? The PlayStation 5 launch is the only thing I've looked at. Yeah. So I'll talk about that for the full time.
It was news. So basically, you weren't really feeling it, but you did anyway, and I missed out. And then on Thursday, we did the D&D recording, and then my baby became possessed in the night, and I had to abandon partway through the thing. So I missed out on a bunch of podcasting, and you were there owning it all, Reg. What's that about?
You'll be glad to hear that it was okay. We managed to sort of sidestep it all until Doddy was like, so Dave, what do you do next? And then there was just crickets. Like, yeah, Dave's gone. Oh, right. Like he did literally announce it.
I was thinking, like, did I put it in the wrong chat thread? I'm like, no, I said it out loud with my voice. No. I told everyone. Yeah,
we definitely got.
No, I did have a lot of fun with that, and I feel really bad because I was right in the middle of actually doing stuff, and I'm like, I gotta go.
Got around.
Oh, good. Okay, good.
It was fine. It was fine.
No one would even know.
Move on. No one will realise.
That's good. Good news.
Hopefully. So, has everyone seen my wonderful little addition to my CV that I've got Nerdody dragged into?
That was probably one of the best kept secrets.
I mean, it wasn't a secret for very long. I only started doing it on can't remember when it was, Tuesday I think, or something like that. So people who listen to this and have listened to our old series and our old podcasts probably all know that me and Reg are particularly obsessed with a Manchester-based singer-songwriter called Liam Frost. And he's amazing. He's on everything. I think the new album is on Spotify and the like?
It is.
Cool. Go and listen to it. It's amazing. The new one especially is called The Latchkey Kid, and it's just awesome. And me and Reg are actually on it. That's why it's awesome. That's one of the reasons it's awesome. But
how are you on it? Why are you on it? What did you do?
We paid the man.
Oh, that's fair enough.
Well, I paid. We paid the man. Yeah. It was he did like a Kickstarter sort of thing.
Okay.
Pledge Music just before Pledge Music died and took everyone's money, including his. Oof. Unfortunately. But yeah, we pledged for that and went down to the studio that he was recording. Where was it, Reg? Ramsbottom. That's it. Went all the way to Ramsbottom and recorded some backing vocals. It was great. We were pretty good. and some stamps. We did like proper studio and sample worthy stamps that you could sell on like the audio version of Photo Bucket or whatever it's called. But yeah, they were wonderful apparently. But anywho, this guy, we've been following him for about 11 years, Reg? 9, 10 years?
2005. It was when he did his gig with Stephen Fretwell.
Jeez Louise. So yeah, for a while. And he's sort of, about a year ago, he said he was going to give up the solo thing. He was a bit fed up with it because nothing was really happening. So he decided he wanted to form a band, and he announced last week that his new band was getting together, and it was called The Fountainhead, and they were going to release their first song on last Friday. It was, on Bandcamp. Bandcamp decided they were going to give all proceeds to charity on that day, so I think a lot of people had some new stuff out, him included. And I just sort of messaged him and said, do you want a video making? And he was like, I'm kind of making one. Why? I was like, well, I just, I'm pretty good at this sort of stuff, so I think I can make something. But I had something in my head. I had this, just from everything I'd seen, his sort of artwork and everything, I was like, I had this thing in my head, and I was like, I'm all right at this editing, so I think I could pull off something pretty good. And he's like, well, send me over some stuff that you've done. And I was like, well, I haven't really got anything like I'm thinking, so I'll just make it and send it to you and let you sit and see. So I did like the first verse and send it over, and he was like, that's great, yeah, carry on. So I finished it up and sent it over, and he was like, that's amazing. And yeah, the rest is history. So Nerd OD getting into the music video game.
Yeah, I was completely oblivious to this whole thing, and I literally was just looking at my phone, and it was like Liam Froster's like, your tweet, and I'm like, what tweet? Like, what have we tweeted that Liam would like? And I was like, oh, maybe we've just done like a little thing about, hey, singles out now to purchase. And then it was like, check out this fucking killer video from our friends over at Nerd OD, and I was like, what video have we done? And so I watched it, and I was like, holy fuck, Dan, like that is just fucking incredible. And like, I know you're going to say it's very simplistic because like there's a lyric video, but it's genuinely a beautiful piece. Like, I love it. The way that obviously the flowers bloom and the birds flying over, like the little details and everything that go towards it are just phenomenal. Like, I genuinely really love that video. You are truly wasted with the video.
No. This is where I'm needed.
You are needed to leave, but you are wasted.
I have to confess that I've not listened to his music. I will now do that now that I have such high ringing endorsements. However, the Fountainhead, he's not named after the Ayn Rand book, is he? Because that's problematic.
I would imagine so.
Really?
On Googling, I have noticed that come up primarily. Don't really know much about it. So
I'm happy to give the man's music a try, but the Fountainhead is problematic. Okay. I must say.
What is the Fountainhead book?
Yeah, you got those people where they're not quite Nazis, but they're not the nicest people on that side of the spectrum of politics.
Right.
They kind of worship The Fountainhead by Ayn Rand because it tells a story of a future that's kind of their paradise in a not nice way. So I'm hoping it's not named after that, because it's questionable times to be a big Ayn Rand fan, considering the world we're living in. Not to get political on Nerdity podcast, because we don't do that, but considering what is currently the big ticket item in the news these days, to be a big fan of that book would be not the number one thing that I'd want to be a part of myself. But
so Liam, change your band's name to the Showerhead, and it was same thing, right?
There is a pub apparently around the corner by him, because when I was trying to tag in the Fountainhead, it kept on saying inn or the Fountainhead, like pub or lodging. Right. So it might be something to do about his local pub, and that's why he's like, that's a nice one.
Probably. But let's go with that.
I've literally just Googled the Fountainhead, and it's just literally that book about
there's already a band called the Wheat Sheaf, so he had no choice.
That's fair. Well, it's just a bit off.
I'm hoping that is the case, and it is a reference to a lovely Mancunian pub. We're going to go with that.
Cool. But yeah, if you want advice on which album to listen to, definitely listen to The Latchkey Kid. It's quite
just
Ryan
saved it
Adams-y,
on my phone.
but it's awesome.
Just saved it on my phone ready.
It's awesome.
And if you want something straight for the feels, 100% Show Me How the Spectres Dance. Yeah. It's one of my all-time favourite debut albums of anything ever. It's just absolutely stunning, and every single song has so many meanings and stuff. It's honestly a thing of beauty. Like, we've talked about it so many times on the pod, but you'd need to.
Weren't you in one of the music videos, Reg?
I was in one called The Mons St. Paul.
That's
in
right.
fact, I think that's I've seen you there as well.
Yeah, no, I was in it as well. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, you guys.
Yeah. Sorry, we do that at every single Liam Frost gig. As soon as he plays that song, we start having this conversation in amongst the fans.
Yeah, Ash hates it.
Yeah, everyone hates it. Liam hates it.
Yeah.
But anyway, if you haven't already, go to our YouTube or go to the Fountainhead's YouTube or Twitter or whatever, and you'll see a rather lovely video that I had fun making and I'm really proud of. And it's not entirely selfless, don't get me wrong. It was it's straight onto my CV. It was for my portfolio. I wanted to be able to go, I made a music video. So there you go.
Nice. Well, speaking of music and also new content and the link thereof, I want to quickly touch on a series that I discovered this week, which is another Apple TV Plus series. So if you're not on that platform, there is some really, really good stuff in there. And it's the new series Central Park. Have you guys seen anything about this?
See, about 2 weeks ago, I thought we would talk about this because I was like, there's no way that Sean has not seen this. Because first of all, it's Bob's Burgers, and secondly, it's on Apple TV Plus, which he's always going on about.
Yeah,
and he'd never even heard of it.
I know, and I don't remember how I heard of it. I don't remember if someone told me or if I read about it. I don't know, but it got into my head, and I went and I found it. And the first 5 episodes are currently available, and they're out weekly from there on. And it is fantastic. It is such a great series. It is. You're right. It's the same animation style as Bob's Burgers. So if you're into that, you'll be familiar. It feels good. H. John Benjamin is a guest star. He does show up in it. So if you like his voice, he's there. Don't worry about it. But the cast is amazing. The cast it's Josh Gad, known as, of course, as Olaf in the Frozen movies. You've got Hamilton alumni. You've got Leslie Odom Jr., Christopher Jackson, and Daveed Diggs are all in it, and absolutely incredible voices. Kristen Bell, Catherine Hahn. It's some just amazing actors, and it's a musical comedy animated series, which is genuinely really funny, really endearing, and the music is fantastic. And so if you're looking for anything that has a combination of all those things, this is a great show. And it got I was reading about it, and it was a Fox production. And 20th Century Fox were producing it, and they were going to put it on the Fox TV channel. And then Disney bought most of Fox, but not the TV channel. So they then had this property, and they're like, oh, we need to put it somewhere. What do we do? So, but didn't go to Disney for whatever reason. Don't understand that. So it became a bidding war, apparently, between Netflix, Hulu, and Apple TV Plus. And Apple have a lot of money, so they won. And they ordered two series. Direct order, so 26 episodes.
Animated stuff seems to survive on very little views as well, and it looks to me like it wouldn't be cheap, but I'm guessing it is a lot cheaper than building sets and camera crew and stuff. It's just paying some people in some country far away to run a sweatshop.
Probably Korea, isn't it? A lot of animation studios in Korea these days.
Yeah, because Bob's Burgers, they're making a film, aren't they? It doesn't do that well. Even The Simpsons doesn't get more than about 3 or 4 million viewers.
Yeah,
but
you can turn it out, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But
look how quick you can turn around South Park.
I was going to say that's crazy how quick they work.
Yeah.
No, but this series though is genuinely fantastic because it's that combination of there's a story that runs throughout it. It's outlandish and wild, but in a way kind of believable because there's bits that are kind of grounded in reality. the actors are fantastic, and I don't know if you guys are fans of Hamilton. I've never seen it, sadly. That comes to Disney Plus next month.
I was going to say,
I saw the trailer.
Good news for you.
So excited about that. But like Leslie Odom Jr. has a fantastic voice. He plays Aaron Burr in Hamilton, and he plays the lead character in Central Park, and he's the manager of Central Park, and it's so good. It is so good. Stanley Tucci plays an angry old billionaire lady who wants to buy up the park and turn it into apartments and bulldoze all the trees, and it's nuts, absolutely nuts. But yeah, if you get a chance to see it, you should, because the songs are super catchy.
Well, they always are in Bob's Burgers, so again, that was another thing I expected, to be honest.
Yeah, but honestly, it's so good. So yeah, if you get a chance, that show is great, and it's the soundtrack. They're being quite clever about it, because I've got it on Apple Music, and you can see the whole track listing for the series, but you can only listen to the songs from episodes that have been released. They're only releasing the tracks in time with the show.
Nice.
Which is quite a clever thing, so it will keep me going back for it. But it's there. I didn't know about it. It showed up, and I'm like, I love this show. I'm all in on this thing, and I hadn't even heard about it a week and a half ago. So
nice. Well, the one good news while we're talking about series going to channels and streaming channels, have you seen they finally announced the Witcher season 2 is going to finally start production again on the 17th of August?
Yes, I had seen.
I am very, very happy with that. They put out a tweet which was awesome today, and saying, "I'm dusting off my Luton quill. I have some news and some meat to spill. After all these months we've been apart, it's time for production to restart. The Witcher and his bard, who's flawless, will reunite on set the 17th of August."
Nice.
Nice. So I'm very happy, although now all I have in my head is toss a coin to The Witcher.
Which is great, because that had been out of my head for a few months, and now it's back. So, cheers, Rich.
This show is good, right? I do need to watch it.
It's fantastic.
What have you haven't watched you've got Netflix. How the fuck have you not watched The Witcher? Even Ash has watched The Witcher.
Because my better half won't be able to make it through it.
She will, though. It's awesome. Like they said, Ash.
Is it quite violent?
Yes.
Yeah, she won't make it through it. We're watching, partly thanks to you, Dave, we're watching The Rookie at the minute, which is a Nathan Fillion, cop drama.
It's great.
And it's brilliant. It's really good. But generally around the sort of the 30-35 minutes mark, when the episode starts coming to a head, there'll be some big shootout or something, and immediately, as soon as anyone pulls a gun out, she's hiding behind my arm or behind the blanket or something like that. She cannot make it through. So
definitely don't get to watch The Gangs of London then. She will hate that.
No, and I'm reluctant to watch that because, in my opinion, Sky have never made a good original show, and I don't think it's likely that it's going to be my sort of thing. But The Witcher is one I'm intrigued to watch, and while I have lots and lots and lots of time with me being unemployed, I decided I'd watch the entire run of 24 again. So I'm getting through a disc of that a day, and then I've got no time for anything else. Although I'm nearly finished on Community, so maybe I'll go on to The Witcher.
See, no, this is the thing. Everyone keeps rewatching all these shows. You got to watch the new stuff. The Witcher's great.
But I've always wanted to rewatch 24 because it's just so flipping good.
Is it though? I mean,
it really is.
My big problem is I've never been to Los Angeles, right? But I know full well what the traffic in LA is like, and they cross town in like 3 minutes, and you're like, what? Come on, it's meant to be real time, and I get the illusion is there, but you kind of break it when you do stuff like that for me. But
fair enough, that's not a problem I've ever thought of, but now I think you've just ruined the entire thing.
Sorry, Dan. Now you can watch The Witcher.
It's okay. It's all right.
Well, just think of all that time I've freed up for you to watch The Witcher.
Okay,
absolutely.
I've just put a vote in on our Slack group channel saying we need to vote remove Dave from the OD.
I've just seen it.
Because of my controversial views on 24.
Well, yeah, because the only correct view about 24 is it's the greatest thing that ever existed.
Mm-hmm.
Right. If it wasn't for Jack Bauer, we wouldn't have life as we know it.
So, Kiefer Sutherland, as a man and an actor, I'm all for that.
And a musical artiste.
Of course. But that's never been there for 24. I mean, I'm sorry.
You will be.
If it makes you feel any better, I'll also vote to remove myself, just to make it easy, to make it painless.
Good. I appreciate that. So, welcome everyone to Dave's last ever Nerd OD podcast. Thankfully, he's already plugged his book of short stories, his film of shooting.
Well, not this episode, Reg. Not this episode.
No.
With so many sagas in the world.
Steve, straight away, now I've done that, Steve's like, I need to get on the pod. Like, I'm moving. Have you started?
It's too late. The vote's already happened. It's gone. No, I look. I am of the belief that if you want to enjoy a property, whatever that is, whatever book, whatever series, whatever films, like, fill your boots. Like, enjoy what you enjoy. I like some real shit. Like, I fully accept that there's some shit out there that I love that I know is objectively bad, but I'm all right with that, and I'm cool with that. I'm not big on 24, but people love it, and you know what? I'm happy for them.
Good. Thank you.
I'm happy for you guys. And I want you all to be happy.
Good.
So, speaking of things people are rewatching, in a very tedious link.
What we're good at.
Have you heard that Michael Keaton's rumored to be coming back as Batman?
I've seen that.
Yep. So basically, the Flash movie that's coming on, that's coming out with Ezra Miller, however the fuck you say his name. Basically, not just in this film, but DC are teeing him up to be like fucking Nick Fury, like Samuel Jackson style. So they were saying it's not
as like Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. So they were saying, according to THR, because they were in, some Hollywood Reporter was indicating about it. Keaton's role isn't a simple cameo or one-off appearance. Instead, one are hoping to include him as a reoccurring character in the upcoming DC films. So they want him in a role comparing him to the likes of Samuel Jackson's Nick Fury in the MCU.
I would suggest they're still trying to make the DCEU a thing.
Yeah, they're still doing that.
Yeah.
I know, but like, that's enough to make me go, you know what, I will give it a chance. I want to do that. The downside, while we're talking about Batman now, have you seen that Joel Schumacher just passed away?
Yeah, that's a shame.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, passed away from cancer, unfortunately.
It's a shame, but he did give Batman nipples, and I don't think any of us are over that.
Batman always had nipples. They were always there. They were just underneath it all.
Well, man can have secret nipples. He can have. I'm not against Batman having actual nipples, but
it was really nipples. Cold at the time of filming, so they just came through.
Yep.
It says a lot about Batman's nipples that they can push through that armor and push out like that.
Well, I mean, it's Batman. Come on.
True. That is true. That's true.
That is a superpower.
Also, Val Kilmer was the worst Batman.
Welcome, Steve.
A wild Steve appears. Worst Batman.
It wasn't Clooney. It wasn't
100% Clooney.
Nope. We've had this discussion
he even
before.
says himself that it was Clooney.
Clooney had the good jaw. He had the good Batman jaw. Good sort of comic book Batman squared off jaw.
I don't think so. I think that about Val Kilmer. I think he just doesn't. I don't think George Clooney looked any part of him looked right.
No, but I'm still. I mean, Michael Keaton is my Batman, so the idea of him coming into those, it makes me then maybe think, oh, do I want to watch these DC films if Michael Keaton comes back?
I think Ben Affleck's now my Batman.
Oh, come on, really? I like Ben Affleck. I've never been against the man, but I got no time for these current DC films. I got no time for him.
He was the best. He was the best part of the new DC film. So that's the thing. Like, his Bruce Wayne is awesome, and that warehouse scene. If they actually did the Batman film instead of bringing in fucking what's his Twilight dick, actually
Robert Pattinson.
That's him. Bring back Batfleck. Like that could have been something.
Yeah, but they were like, oh, Ben Affleck, here's the Batman solo movie. It's all yours, and he's like, I'm out. It's like, what? This is your solo movie. Like, why don't you want it? Like,
he was going to direct it and everything.
Yeah, he was going to direct it and write it, and they were like, well, actually, no, we don't want to use that. And he's like, well, if you don't want to use it, you don't want to use me. And then that didn't work out, and he was like, shit, fine, I'm out then. Yeah. So, and I think he did the right thing thinking about it, really, because the whole universe is just awful. Like you said before, we've gone through so many pods just slamming it. But the one thing that they can do really well, DC, is games. So the Rocksteady Batman series of games have been phenomenal. Like, they are such a great series of games that there's a new Batman game coming out that's going to be based around the Court of Owls, but that's done by, I think, Warner Brothers Montreal, who did Batman Origins.
Oh, okay.
Arkham Origins. But that's left Rocksteady open for ages, and there's been so many rumors flying around about what it is they're actually working on inside the DC franchise. And then there was potential, like, everyone was like, shit, are they actually finally going to do the Turtles game and stuff, which would be freaking incredible. But apparently it's now very strongly rumored, after seeing some domain names go for registration around them, it's going to be a Suicide Squad game. So this was a strong rumor originally, and then they were like, nah, it got panned apparently by Warner Brothers. But now these have started coming back up again. So there's really interesting domain name of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League.com coming through, which would be awesome because they are very good at dark.
Registered by Warner Brothers or what? Because that could just be a comic.
No. So it's these are game ones that they've come across being registered by them.
Right.
So it's SuicideSquadGame.com, Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League.com, and the Gotham Knights game.
Okay.
So what DC are holding their usual event that they have at, like, the Comic-Con San Diego and stuff, but now they're hosting a digital event called DC Fandom on August the 22nd, where Warner Brothers is going to be making the announcements of what it is they're actually going to be releasing. So with this now freshly coming in, it's got to be. They've been waiting for years to do a new Rocksteady game. It's got to be this one. So I'm well up for it. But the leaks are getting really strong now, and they're coming from really good sources as well. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll have an amazing Suicide Squad title coming in, which would be nice.
I just can't get behind DC stuff anymore. I want to. I do want to, but it's all just so everywhere. I know we've talked about it before. I don't want to bore people with it again, but it's so all over the place. With the Suicide Squad film, and then that doesn't do very well. So then they're going to do another Suicide Squad film, but it's not a remake. It's kind of a reboot, but it's got some of the same actors playing the same characters, but it's not a sequel. Then you got Birds of Prey came out, and that kind of was a sequel because Harley Quinn's in it again, played by Margot Robbie. But I don't understand. You got like 2 or 3 different actors right now playing the Flash. So the Flash is getting a movie, but it's not the same Flash that's in the very successful TV series. So there's no crossover with that. I'm like, what are you doing, DC? I got no idea. I can't even keep up. Not even Michael Keaton will get me back in there, I don't think.
I like that. This is now our bar of, are we interested? Is Michael Keaton in it?
Hey, I'm Michael Keaton. He made the jump into Marvel films in Homecoming, and he was great. And you're like, you're a really good actor. Like, you should be in more stuff. You were the best Batman. I don't care what anybody says. Batman Returns is one of the best films of all time. And, he's wasted. He's wasted.
If Michael Keaton was a reoccurring character in 24, would you then be interested in 24?
Yes. I'm not saying I'd like it, but I'm saying I would be interested.
Hey, there's been some amazing people in 24.
There really have.
Yeah. John Voight was in it. Who else we've got? Who's the guy who played?
Who's the guy that showed up for like one episode? I think he was like a comedian or something.
Oh, Stephen Merchant.
No.
Really? Yeah, he's in one episode.
He snuck in. Oh, what was his name? It was like, I remember watching it and was like, oh my god, what are they doing?
The farmer from Babe was in it. He plays Jack's dad in the series I'm watching now, actually.
Of all the things to pull it from,
I can't remember his name. Well, it was either that or I was going to say what's his face, Ephraim Cochrane out of Star Trek First Contact, but you're not going to know that, are you, Reg?
James Cromwell.
There you go, James Cromwell.
Such a great actor, and yes, I would always get him as Ephraim Cochrane because that is an incredible role in an incredible film.
See, what about him in Bicentennial Man?
I mean, anyone in Bicentennial Man is just terrible because it's one of the worst films I've ever seen.
I really liked it.
Do you all mean Bicentennial Man?
Isn't that what he said?
He said Biocentennial Man.
Oh,
as in, like,
no, it's definitely
eco-warrior.
Bicentennial Man.
Okay. I was thinking, an 100-year-old eco-warrior? Is that what you're trying to get at? Is that a different movie? I don't remember that one.
Dave, did you watch the keynote?
I have not, but I have seen some of the highlights for it, and I like the look of that software.
We're moving to
Apple keynote.
Yes.
Okay, just for people at home.
I think the biggest news is the fact that we're turning it all the way up to 11.
I like to say we because you're not part of them anymore.
I don't get that. I understand the Spinal Tap reference, but I don't know what that's got to do with the software.
So macOS Big Sur, they're calling it.
Oh, a new macOS version. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I only see the iOS stuff.
They're moving from.
Are they actually going to 11?
They're moving from 10 to 11.
Whoa. Am I actually going to have to upgrade this, or am I still not going to be able to run 16-bit or 32-bit software?
Your problems are your own.
They're not going to put 32-bit support back into it. That's crazy talk.
Far too much stuff that I just can't use if I do that.
But is it big enough to justify the jump to 11? I've not seen the keynote, and I don't want to bore everyone else on this call with it, but I'm intrigued.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the new chipsets that they're coming out with.
Fair enough.
Because remember, they moved away from PowerPC to Intel, and that was a big deal. And now they're moving away from Intel to their own ARM processors, and it's like, hang on a second.
That's true.
But yeah, the big deal about this, guys, is the fact that macOS 10 was originally launched. 2001. So it's nearly 20 years old.
Jesus.
Yeah, because I started working at Apple with 10.4, 10.5.
Yeah,
that kind of area. So I was already a while in.
Basically, what they've done, Reg, is they've just upgraded the second number. The whole point was talking about how, like, it was compatible and familiar. So it was all 10. Like, so it didn't matter if you were using the first version of 10 in 2001 or 10.4, 10.5, 10.6, where they were putting different features on. It still looked and felt the same, which was avoiding the Microsoft model of, now we've done Windows 98. Now we're moving to Vista and everything changes. Now we're moving to Windows 10 and everything looks different again. Like, they were trying to stay away from that model, I think. But yeah, after nearly 19 years, they've gone from 10 to 11.
It does worry me though, considering my Mac is what, 3.5 years old now. I'm thinking, I'll be able to upgrade probably, but things will start getting slow. I don't want to buy a new computer. I'm not gonna. I told Lou, we got a new software version. She'd be like, great, can you run on your current machine? I'll be like, no. And she'd be like, well, I don't give a shit. So,
another highlight is the fact that they're upgrading WatchOS. So there's now going to be a widget that tells you how to wash your hands.
Tells you how, or like when, or what?
How?
Wow.
I just detected you've been to the toilet. Time to wash your hands.
The thing that amazes me is
that, Steve.
The amazing thing is there are people that need that.
So I was driving around in a Model X today.
I know, and you are the only person I know who can be given a £100,000 car for the day and yet still have problems with it. Because you were driving a P100D Model X, which is a £100,000 vehicle, which they gave you as a courtesy car. It's like someone giving me a fucking Aston Martin DB9 for the day. And being like, there you go. And me being like, well, acceleration's not quite the same as my car, so it's shit. You are insane. I
discovered the reason why the acceleration wasn't that good on the fucking dual motor car that I was in was because of the fact that they'd enforced chill mode, and I couldn't take it out of it.
Yours, I'm surprised. You were lucky they didn't put it on valet mode and limit you to 30 miles an hour, buddy. Because if I was lending you my £100,000 electric tank, you definitely would not be driving it faster than 30 miles an hour anywhere.
On the way home back from Stockport, I tried to put it into autopilot on the motorway because I'm a lazy bitch now that I've got a Tesla. And with the Model 3, to put it into autopilot, you shift down into drive twice, so it's like a double click on the shifter. So I tried that on this car, and accidentally put it into neutral. So I'm driving on the motorway, I'm slowing down, I've got the regenerative brakes kicking off at me being like, I want to stop now. I'm in the middle lane. So by the time I got to about 30, 40 miles an hour, I'd slowed down to, I'd figured out how to put it back into drive again. So that was a moment. So that was my first gripe about the car, is the fact that it'll go into neutral when you're trying to drive it wrong. But it had so many stalks as well. Like, there was 3 stalks on the left and 1 on the right. With the Model 3, there's only 1 on each side. So I think my gripe with it is the fact that the Model X came out 3 years ago, I think 3-4 years ago.
Mm. Yeah.
So it felt, the technology felt kind of old. It felt like it was a bigger Model S, and the Model S was out 9 years ago now, 10 years ago, which for all intents and purposes feels old to me, because I'm driving around in the Model 3, the newest that they do. So I'm guessing if any of you guys drove it, you'd be like, oh my god, this is futuristic. But I wasn't there.
It's old hat,
It's old hat. But honestly, it was to the point where the guy had to come and help me, because I sat in it and I'm like, right, the seats are all wrong, the wheel isn't moving, I can't sort the mirrors out, because keep in mind with the Model 3 it's one button and then you're on the screen that configures all that stuff through the steering wheel. Whereas that button wasn't there on the screen, so I didn't know how to move the wheel, I didn't know how to sort the mirrors out, and it turns out that all those features were the same as on just a common car. So to move the mirrors was a button on the door handle, like a normal car has. Yeah. I just couldn't see it, didn't know it was there. That third stick, the extra stick, was to configure where the steering column moving in and out. So yeah, he had to show me how to sit in it. It was massive. It felt like, another thing as well is when I put my foot down on the motorway, it sort of it made this like brr, 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 brr noise, and I'm like, is this a petrol version of a Tesla? Because I think it's just, I don't know.
Again, £100,000 car.
Yeah.
Here's your car for the day, and you're like, oh, I've got to move the mirrors with a different button.
Another thing, well, I was like, because my mate from across the road, he came around, he wanted to have a look at it because he's a dad, and he was like, this is my dream car. The back seats, you've got 2 like extra back seats that sit in the boot, so it's 3, 4, 5. It's a 7-seater car, isn't it? A 6-seater? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, 7 seats, isn't it? 7 seats.
So the 2 seats in the very, very back, I'm like, how do you make them pop up? So again, I spent a good 10-15 minutes looking through the menus on the screen, and it turns out you have to physically press a button on the seats to make them pop up.
Oh no!
It
nightmare.
I know. And also, I have to point out that I am a dad, and I would fucking love a Model X. I would love a Model X because they're massive, and they've got motherfucking Falcon wing doors that are the future, and I don't understand you.
The Falcon wing doors were cool. What I liked about the Falcon wing doors is you can get in the, even the tiny seats at the back. We've all been in one of those like taxi vans that have little tiny seats in the back, right?
Oh,
and you have to like squeeze in like you're being born in reverse.
Oh god, that's an image.
With the Falcon wing doors, they don't just open up access forwards, they also open up access above, so you can literally step into the car without ducking down, twist your body around and just sit down normally, so you don't have to squeeze in. So I like that was good. The cat fucking loved it. He was like, this is amazing. And I think that they've spent a lot of time and potentially a lot of money putting in technology to make the doors automatically open and close, which I thought was a bit weird. I'm guessing that's a parent thing though, right? That's something that you'd need as a mum or a dad if you're getting kids in the car, and
if you're spending 100,000 on a car, then whatever it is, you just want to be able to open your doors by pressing a button.
Yeah, but that's fair. I want all of the controls to be I just press a button, it just does stuff for me. And if I had a car of that type, then yeah, I would expect that. I would expect it to. If I'm going to press a button to raise the seat, that's cool. But I want those doors opening and closing because I think about it too hard. You know what I mean? That's all.
I got so angry at the man when I went back. I was telling him that I'd showed my neighbour and that he really liked it. And he goes, "Did you show him the dancing mode?" And I was like, "What?" And he says, "Yeah, you press this button, it plays a Christmas song, and it shines the lights and makes the doors go up and down in rhythm and stuff." And I'm like, "Why the fuck did you not tell me about that before I set off?"
Why didn't you Google Model X Easter egg or something?
Because I didn't know it existed.
Also, what was wrong with your Model 3? Because again, you're the only man I know who can get a car like this and go like, "Oh, something wrong with it. I'll go and complain at Tesla and get a free car for the day."
There was a few. The door wasn't aligned. There's a recall that'll be on yours as well.
Cheers.
The back door was creaking. There was a rubber thing that they haven't fixed, so they're coming out for a home visit next time because they don't want to lend me a Model X again. So they're just going to come out to my house and sort it.
They're going to come back to your house with a check for the money you've already paid towards the Tesla and be like, "I'm sorry, we no longer want your service. Fuck off. Here's a button for that. We do it physically. It's called a boot."
So I should be expecting a recall on my car. Good to know. Thank you.
Yeah.
Will I get a Model X for the day? Because I don't mind that. I'll take it.
It was weird. I mean, he said to me, he says, "Have you ever drove a Model X before?" And I'm like, "No." And he was like, "Oh, you're getting a Model X." I was like, "Okay." And then I was thinking about that question. I was like, why did he position it in that way? Like, if I would have said yes, would the response have been any different? Or was that
he was
just
maybe
his way of
expecting you
telling
to be
me?
excited?
I mean, Mike, I say this trying to be, what's the word? Humble. My car's better.
Fair enough.
I mean, your car is newer, so it's fair to say that there are certain things that would be more intuitive or anything else. But trust me, if you had a car seat and a bunch of baby stuff and a pram, red me up here, you would take the Model X any day of the week because you can fit stuff.
I mean, I'll give you another example. What felt weird when I was driving it was the wheel. The wheel was too big. It was huge. It felt like I was driving a bus. And also, when I indicated the indicator stalk, it goes down. So when you push it down, it goes down and stays down, and then clicks back up like a normal car. It's not like ours where it just you can thunk it and then it doesn't. It just comes back up straight away.
When I got my new Hyundai, I was just annoyed because they'd moved the indicator from the left-hand side to the right-hand side. And yeah, that was about it.
I mean,
that's a fair concern to have, though, because you're on the motorway and you got to change a lane, and suddenly you've whacked your windshield wipers on, and you're like, "What am I doing?" And then someone rear ends you, and then it's game over. So that's a fair concern to have. Moving something fundamental.
Did you watch my TikTok?
No.
And Facebook. Well, it was the video I put on Facebook.
I saw your excited post saying I'm getting a Model X.
No, I put on Facebook and on TikTok a quick 1 minute review of the Model X. So if you get a chance, go watch it. I don't think I was too disparaging. I was just talking more about the differences.
Because I knew that somehow you weren't going to like it. Mm-hmm. I had this feeling in my gut, and I was like, I can't watch it because he's going to say he doesn't like it. And the first thing I saw was it was 100 days.
Even if that's subconsciously making you feel better, like, no, I've got the better one. That could happen. To
summarize, Dave, I'm just very aware of the fact that car isn't for me. And what's interesting to me is the fact that the company are clearly making cars that are targeted at certain people, and that's exciting, isn't it? It's like the fact that I had my neighbor around who's a dad to a couple of kids, and he loved it. He was saying this is his dream car, and I'm like, I don't get it. And then when he sees my normal, little sporty love of my life, he's like, yeah, it's nice, it's okay. But I'm like, no, this is the better one. That's just two people looking at the
Do you know,
same
I
thing.
see that though, because the doors on this one go whoop, like Back to the Future. So from an outsider's perspective, I would be like, oh yeah, that's the one I want. I want the ones with the doors.
Yeah. The one with the doors.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? So I get that. But
Part of me feels like they were like, oh, you come here with your Model 3, okay. We're going to give you this somewhat shonky Model X that's got some shit wrong with it because like it's a loaner. I like to think like it's not usually a problem, but that one they gave you is just a bit like broken. Just like, take that, you'll be fine.
We've heard of this guy before. Just give him something. He's going to moan anyway. Let's just give him an actual reason to moan.
It felt American. It definitely felt American. And I think the reason why the Model 3 doesn't feel American is because of how like mold breaking it is. How I don't want to use the word futuristic because I know I'm not driving around in a Blade Runner car, but you know that they've made changes in the 3 that you don't see in other cars. It's just not there yet. It's a bit like you remember when Dan when the iPhone came out and like comparing that to all the other like touchscreen phones at the time, and it was like that's different. No one else is there yet. That's how it feels with the Model 3.
fair enough.
But I mean, I enjoyed the opportunity to get to own it for a day and you know to reaffirm the choices that I've made with the car that I've got. I'm also getting really excited about because they're bringing out another car, the Model Y, and the Model Y is going to sit on the same base as the Model X does, so it's going to be a big car. It's going to have a large, wide footprint. So it's going to be, you know, and hasn't it got the extra seats in the back?
I don't know. It's bigger, isn't it? It's the same wheelbase as the S and the X, but it's more in line with the 3's size.
Design. So basically, it's inside. If you look at a photo of it, it looks exactly the same as my car. It's just everything is, you know, a bit bigger. So it's just a scaled up version of my car, apart from the screen size. So the screen looks a bit smaller in proportion, but obviously the dash is a bit bigger, the footwell's bigger, the seats are bigger, everything's bigger. So I think that's going to be of interest to people because then you get the benefits of being able to shove car seats in there and stuff for the kids, but also having something that feels futuristic as well.
I want it. Can't afford it, but I want it.
So where were we?
Well, while we're speaking of futuristic stuff,
Reg has always got a segue.
I like that. Big fan of that, Reg.
Well, The Last of Us 2 came out on last week on Friday, which is set in the future, and apparently it's Sony's biggest ever fastest selling the biggest selling boxed PS4 title of launch.
Really?
Which, considering they've had the latest ever like Metal Gear and Death Stranding stuff, it's quite a big surprise. There's been quite a few titles I wouldn't have thought would have beat it. But apparently it beat Uncharted by 1% to make it the biggest one. So they beat their own record.
Who'd have thought?
Insane. 76% higher than The Last of Us original one.
Wow.
Which is crazy. And the weirdest thing about this, so like without going into any spoilers for the title, because I know a lot of people wouldn't have played it yet, but the game itself has been like praised as the title of our generation of this. Apparently it's like the most phenomenal game of all time ever by every single critic. Reader reviews, on the other hand, of people who've actually played it, if you have a look at Metacritic, it's been absolutely panned. Now it isn't just because of which we all genuinely thought it was going to be the SJW sort of warriors out there, just basically trolling Naughty Dog and making it all panned. Apparently the story to it is a massive letdown because everyone was dubious. Did it really need a sequel? Didn't it? I was in the opinion once I finished it, I was like, you know what? I'm very happy with that story. Like, we don't need a second one. It would be nice because Naughty Dog always do great games, but we don't really need it. And there's a majority of the fan base that are like, you know what? Yeah, the story really shit on. They did. I ruined it for myself when I was like, let's just have a reason as to have a look to the reason why. And the very first 4 reader reviews just spoiled everything. I was like, I don't want to see that. Too late. It's too late. Yeah. So I now know all the beats. So I know the part of the story. Obviously, they're not going to give the full thing away. But I do know a couple of my mates that are playing it on Facebook. Who, one of them only bought a PlayStation to play this.
Wow.
And he was like, it looked like, from the trailer, it was like, it just looked like I needed it.
Had this person not played the first one?
No, he's been an Xbox fanboy like his entire life.
Wow.
So he was just like, I need to play this. And I was like, play number one. I was like, especially as a dad, I think you will fucking get well brought into this first story. And then he messaged and was like, holy shit, just bawled my eyes out after about 15 minutes. And I was like, yep, that scene is fucking emotional. And he was like, I can't wait to get into 2 now. I'm just going to run through it or do just YouTube the story bits. And I was like, no, play through the fucking title. You've got it.
Yeah.
Play it. And then play Last of Us 2. But also, while we're talking about emotional things that really make you cry. So as we were talking before about bands and stuff that we like here, there's a band, Frightened Rabbit. The main singer, as we know, passed away, and his brother set up a charity called Tiny Changes. Now, over the weekend that's just been, they did something called Tiny Gigs, which was a Facebook free thing, and they got a full weekend full of bands and artists to play songs, some big, some little, some indie, just like loads of random people. And in there was one of mine and Dan's other favourite guy called Frank Turner. And he sort of headlined the Sunday night, and he did a full set of just Frightened Rabbit covers, apart from the last song, which was a song called "A Song for Scott," who was the main singer, and it's literally just about him. Now, I'd hate to be a friend of Frank Turner because like, this is the 3rd song now he's wrote about losing someone. So you've got like "Long Live the Queen," which is an awesome charity single which got completely overlooked, which is a criminal shame. A song for Josh, which is about the guy who did security in a nightclub nightclub bar in America, and now a song for Scott. But literally from the opening like couple of words, I had to pull over and I was like, I can't drive listening to this. It's fucking, I'm going. And yeah, by the end of it, I was a fucking blubbering wreck. With a smile.
Well, Reg, if you had a Tesla, you could have just pressed the button and it would have driven for you while you cried.
Or put you into neutral.
And you smeary tear eyes in neutral in the motorway, no idea where you're going.
No.
And then
sitting in the middle lane, not moving at all, just sobbing your eyes out. Cars whizzing past you like beep.
Or you. No, I was going to make it. No.
No, go on.
No, I was going to make a joke, and then I felt really bad about saying it instantly. So I shouldn't.
I live for jokes, especially bad jokes.
Oh God, no! Because I was going to say that you go into neutral, you steer into traffic, you can't see what is happening, you end up in an accident, and then Frank Turner's writing a song about you.
Right. That's good. That was worth it.
Oh no, I don't think it was. I feel like a bad person.
I think it was, and it could be fast lane of death.
Oh God.
I'm going to write that song for Steve. Don't worry, be all right.
Song for Steve.
Song for Steve.
Got an episode title. I like it.
And it's all about his Model X.
Now, I'm all for you talking about Frightened Rabbit and Frank Turner and everything, Reg, but that was a weak segue when you had a really simple. Yeah, so that's Naughty Dog's latest game, but what about the first game they ever made? And then we sort of circle back and start talking about New Crash Bandicoot.
I really wanted to talk about that, so fuck you.
Yeah, I guess
your shitty segues. So I've got that. But why are you being so naughty, Dan?
Right.
Telling me off for doing that.
Jesus Christ.
Naughty Dog just recently revealed Crash Bandicoot 4. Surprise!
Well, was it Naughty Dog though? Who's doing this? Is it Vicarious Visions again?
I think so. I don't know.
So they're the people who are doing the Tony Hawk's remake as well. Have we even talked about that?
Yes, because I was angry that they didn't put certain song titles in
that's good.
The soundtrack.
Yeah. And people seem to be getting very, very excited for the fact that they're doing another skate game.
Yeah.
Which I feel like this was just a bit of an afterthought from it. Like, oh, whoa, people want to. Let's give them skate.
I was watching a video the other night of Tony Hawk talking about getting offered the gig of Pro Skater, the game, and he was talking about. He wasn't being specific, but he was talking about the payday from it. And he was like, I'd worked my whole career, as a pro skater, and all of a sudden this opportunity comes along, and it just fucking wipes the floor money wise with anything I ever earned doing pro skating. Which makes sense because the games were fucking insane with regards to how well they sold. How many were there?
God, there's must
well,
be
they
about
got up to
7 or 8
5,
now.
but there was also Underground and American 2,
about
and
10.
American Wasteland, and then that really bad one where you had the controller. Yeah, that's the one. So
Ride was awful.
Something like that.
What was the one on? It was on the original Xbox. It was a big release of theirs.
Everything from 3 onwards was on the Xbox.
Yeah.
But it was probably Underground Thug.
God, yeah. Yeah, it would have been with the orange cover. I know that was the one.
I did like that one. It was a bit more open world and there was a much better ongoing story to it. But yeah, I love those games. I can't wait for it to. I'll have a go of a demo before I buy it. But
because 5 was so great.
Well, that's just it. It needs to feel exactly right. I mean, if you go back, you go on our YouTube, and there is a Let's Play of which one was it? Was it number 3 we played? Number 4 maybe? Me and Reg played.
God, yeah,
played,
when Final Fantasy came out on the
yeah, whichever one had the multiplayer in anyway. And we played that, and neither of us had played it for good 10 years, plus probably. But it was immediately just muscle memory. You'd pull a trick, you'd land on the ramp, you'd go into a manual, and keep it going, and it was just so effortless. I really need it to feel like that, otherwise there's just no point.
So the one I played a lot was the one where it was there was one in a street and one in
yeah, that doesn't narrow it down at all.
What one in I'm gonna have to Google them. Just doing my head in. I'll get back to you.
Not gonna get it from that, but yeah, that's obviously coming back. We have previously talked about it, but Skate was a game I never really got into, and it almost felt like it was a bit of an afterthought for this big EA reveal, which didn't include Mass Effect.
Yeah, no. Don't. Skate 4 has been petitioned for. It has been clamoring for. Every time EA have done one of their events at E3, they have been absolutely slammed and brutalized for not announcing a new Skate. For some reason, it seems to be one of their sleeper hits.
Right.
A really insane sleeper hit. I don't quite understand it because it's a bit more of a realistic version of Tony Hawk's and stuff. It's not as arcadey. I could never get into it. It wasn't my bag.
It was 3, by the way.
Okay.
No. You've opened a door, Dan. You've opened a door, and I have to walk through it. So EA have their event.
Yes.
Before that,
this is what rumors, I was trying to get to. So
there are rumors.
Yep.
Of a remaster title, and the rumor mill says that it's going to be Mass Effect, and I am preparing myself to spend money on that game for probably the 4th time. That game series, I bought it 3 times previously. I was going to buy it again. I was like, EA, you just give me that remastered Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3. I will pay you what you ask. You name your price. I will pay it. Give it to me on the Xbox One X. Easy money. And then they come out and they go, hey, we're going to make Battlefield 6. And it's like, oh, cool. Okay, new Battlefield game. I like Battlefield. That's good.
Stunning.
And our remaster title. Ooh, are you ready for our remaster title? What's it going to be? I'm there going, Mass Effect, Mass Effect, Mass Effect. Don't mess with me, EA. Make it Mass Effect. It's Battlefield 3. Hang on a second. You're going to make Battlefield 6. And you're also going to release a remastered Battlefield 3.
Yeah.
Don't you think the audience for those games might be the same people?
Well, then look at Call of Duty, because that's what they did with that. And so I agree with you that it's pointless, and I'd much rather have Mass Effect. But when they released, which one was it, Black Ops 3, and you got Modern Warfare 2, or the first Modern Warfare, I can't remember which one it was, with it, that sold more copies of that game than the actual game did. People just wanted that for the multiplayer.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that's a similar situation in this case.
Yeah. In fairness, Black Ops did have the greatest acronym of all time, CODBLOPS.
Yeah, good old blops.
CODBLOPS, big fan of that. But remastering, I mean, look, I've always been a fan of the Battlefield games. I've probably preferred them to the Call of Duty games in general. But to make a brand new one, great, I'm all for that. To remaster an old one, okay, fine, but surely not at the expense of the greatest game series that's ever been made. Surely, like
Shenmue 3 wasn't by EA.
Come on, Reg. We've spoken about this.
It's my one per pod. It's my one per pod.
I'm curious how much say in this BioWare have though as well.
Well, BioWare have been absolutely ruined by EA. You'd think that what they would at least do, I mean, look at Anthem. I mean, Jesus Christ, what was Anthem? You'd think at least they'd be like, you know what? Last amazing BioWare title with the Mass Effect series. Here you go.
Let's get them back on track.
Let's do it again.
Like them again.
Yeah. Let's build the confidence. Let's build everyone's sort of build the emotions back up and get everyone. Oh, EA, they're good guys. They re-released Mass Effect and got BioWare back on track. Everybody's happy now. But no. You want to give us a bunch of Battlefield games at one time. God damn it, EA. God damn you.
I really, really want them to remaster Jade Empire. That's my favourite BioWare title. I know
that never went anywhere, did it?
But Jade Empire was fucking such a good game. Such a good game. And yes, Mass Effect series are great. But Jade Empire really knocked that apart for me just because it was so fresh and different. It was fucking brilliant. Really enjoyed it. But sorry.
No, there are other great games, and BioWare did Knights of the Old Republic, which is again, I would say probably the best Star Wars game I've ever played.
Have you played Fallen Empire yet? Not just to be like, how dare you say that? Because Knights of the Republic is awesome.
Fallen Order was good, but it wasn't like for me. The role play element of Knights of the Republic was what made it. You know, you got to play a character and define that character. Whereas I felt it was way more cosmetic in Fallen Order and a bit less. Yes, there was progression and yes, there were abilities, but it didn't make it feel that different for me. It didn't feel that special. It looked great, you know, it was fun and all. Really enjoyed the opening segment on the sort of breaking down the old Republic ships and stuff. That was really cool. But no, Knights of the Republic will always have the system. That kind of turn-based combat with that kind of squad management like that will always be the number one for me in terms of Star Wars games until perhaps Star Wars Squadrons, but we'll see how that plays out.
Yes, I have been pining for an actual flight sim like a dogfighting game from ever since I did that VR mission on Battlefront. And I was just like, oh my God. And then you're like, hey, here's Squadrons, fully playable in VR. Not like, here's one mission, or here's like a couple of things to dick around in.
Yep.
Full-blown campaign mode in VR. And that was just everything Reg wanted and more in his mind.
It's not, it doesn't sound like it's a fully fledged title. It's coming out at about 30 quid as well, though, isn't it?
Well, it's going to be focused on the multiplayer, right? Multiplayer is going to be the big thing for it.
It will have the money off.
Yeah, it will have a single-player campaign, but they know full well that people are going to play multiplayer more than anything.
It's like Battlefront 2, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully better. Well, because Starfighter Assault as a game mode in Battlefront 2 is really enjoyable. But what they did was they released 4 or 5 maps, and that was it. And they've never really changed the stuff that you get within it. You know, they've missed the opportunity to introduce Scarif maps and, you know, stuff for Rise of Skywalker. They could introduce new stuff to it, and they just haven't. So what I'm really hoping is with Squadrons, you've got enough content to keep it feeling fresh, because I went back and played Starfighter Assault for the first time in ages a few days ago, and it just didn't. It's just a bit. You've got people on there at level 900. I mean, Christ, level 900. How are they? Where's the balancing? I was up against a team that had someone level 900 and someone who had said level max, no numbers, just maximum level possible. I was level 24, 25 because I didn't not played it for a long time.
That's me in life, maximum level possible.
But where's the balancing? You know what I mean? If you're going to have two teams, you can't have it be that wildly different, surely, because someone who's level 900, they're obviously going to wipe the floor with me because they've been playing it a shitload more than I ever have. and yet the game just kind of goes, yeah, you'll do. And then it's just a bit, so with Squadrons, I really hope they put some effort in to make it a little bit different and make it a bit more fun. And as much as I will love the customization options and the idea of putting an Ewok bobblehead on a cockpit console, which I definitely will do, I need more than 3 or 4 maps. It needs to be a bit of variation. I'll buy it and I'll find out, and I'll be disappointed if it doesn't, but I'm going to buy it anyway. But that's what I want.
Nice. It does look really beautiful.
It looks fantastic. Yeah.
Well, I think that's about time, gentlemen.
Well, thanks for having me late. Sorry the traffic was terrible.
It's all right. I hope you enjoyed your 20 minutes talking about your car.
Sean always enjoys time talking about his car.
I talked a little bit about Apple as well. That was useful, wasn't it?
No, I'm not complaining. I'm literally saying I hope you enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, I've been Sean.
Steve. I've been Reg.
I've been Dave.
Dang!
Oh, damn! Come on.
We were so close with the
Were we doing reverse alphabet there or something?
On the way out, on the exit, reverse alphabetical. On the intro, actual.
Yeah, I mean this sounds great. This sounds not at all fraught with complication.
This is A+ content.
Love it.
It's always because Steve wants to go out first. Every time, it's never.
Oh, it's the last one in.
Last one in, first one out.
And it's only because I threatened to fire Dave. You were like, right, I'm coming on.
Yeah, let's find out why.
Because he hates 24. And
Dave.
I didn't say I hated it.
Well,
it wasn't my thing.
It was fun having
it. It's the worst thing he's ever witnessed. And because there's no Michael Keaton in it, he's petitioning to get it removed from all streaming services.
Listen, he stayed
Michael Keaton matters.
He stayed with us for as long as he could. David, it's been a pleasure to have you for the time we've had you.
Thank you. I'm going to see if Michael Keaton needs a hype man somewhere, because I can be that guy. All right, I've been Dave. I've been
Sean.
Steve.
I've been Reg.
I've been Dan, and we did it. Yay. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Doodles.